Hello and welcome to Words of Advice. Today we will talk about courage and how individuals can display courage on different levels, as displayed in the book In the Time of the Butterflies. People can show courage on the outside to other people. This can be shown through things such as courageous acts or deeds. Another layer, or the second layer of courage, that an individual can display is courage inside themselves, such as getting over loss of a loved one. The final layer involves group courage or bravery shown by many people for one purpose. This may be convincing oneself that something needs to be done, or elsewise others that something needs to be done. Layers of courage are integral to the use of courage and the definition of your own personal courage. All of these layers are both present in our modern world and in the Time of the Butterflies. Today we are talking about a book based around the revolution in the Dominican Republic. In the world we live in today, courage is a rare and wonderful thing. That's why people have been flocking to this new book, In the Time of the Butterflies, a story of 4 incredible women using amazing amounts of courage and hard work to change the world around them.
In the Time of the Butterflies, there are in fact many layers of courage shown, from Patria leaving her faith to raise a family to being a leader in revolution. These layers are defined by the risk of each situation and by the amount of courage it takes to face that situation. It may take a little courage to do such a thing as pray and practice religion when everyone else does it together in protest, but a larger amount of courage to stand up to an abusive husband who is limiting his wife or family. These different layers can also be built off what the courage is based on or what is being fought for. From fighting for oneself and loved ones to fighting for the freedom of a nation or a larger group of people. Even the courage to move on after losing a loved one is a sight to see. All of these different types and layers of courage are presented to the reader in this book. This tale of great bravery and familial love is a shining example of courage being shown and used in all of its facets.
Courage is a very interesting thing because it can be shown either individually or by a group. In the Time of the Butterflies, courage is mostly an individual feeling, although it was shown several times as a group effort. There are more layers to an individual courage than compared to bravery within a group. This is due to the fact that it is easier to be brave or have courage when there is a crowd of people who agree. This book is a wonderful example of courage in the face of something bigger than oneself, such as Patria leaving the church, which was one of the larger organizations in the Dominican Republic at the time, or when Minerva refuses Trugilla's efforts to conquer her. This is a great display of bravery because he is the tyrant who wields full control of the nation. The courage of the individual can come from many different sources, but is almost always used to stand up to something large and or powerful. Whereas the courage of a group is diluted by the lessening of the risk, but is still used. The higher the risk, the more courage it takes to face something, so when a situation is made safer because there is an equal force against equal force, the level of this courage changes and becomes lower because of the lack of risk. It is the courage in oneself, though, that truly defines who a person is and what a person is able to withstand, such as the loss of a loved one, or worse.
Although courage in a group is admirable, individual courage is even more important because it shows that courage can allow one to do things that help achieve what they pursue. When Patria loses her son, this is important because she must find courage deep inside to continue on and not break down. Another display of internal courage was when Dee Dee confronted her husband about his limiting of her freedoms. When she did so, she not only displayed courage to her husband because she stands up to him, but she displayed courage because she is brave enough to begin to defy him and believe her own thoughts. All of this bravery to change a current situation. The bravery to change something and to take this step into a different future is the purest source of courage. An integral part of courage is standing up for anything that is important and will bring about a positive change. The largest force against the sisters' belief during the story is Trujillo and the government. Such as when Maria's friend points her bow at Trujillo is a prime example of what internal bravery is, because she had the courage to prove to the crowd that she was not afraid of anything, not even the dictator of a country who has unlimited power. Later on in the story, Minerva and her mother travel to the country capital to ask for their father's release. This is also a great example of courage because Minerva and her mother stood up to the capital and government. The sisters also joined a revolutionary group against the government despite the risk of getting punished or even killed. These examples are showing what bravery can do to help push things forward, as well as helping the reader understand what great risks courage can bring to an individual.
Every day, individuals show courage, worldwide and in your hometown. Courage is important to the world because it gives people heroes to aspire to be like. Heroes set an example for everyday people to do courageous acts and deeds. Although bravery is not just in far-off places such as the Middle East, it happens all over every day, and you probably experience it all the time. Courage is very important in our ever-changing world. There are many people in the modern world who are blessed with great individual courage, such as those who join the military or choose to come out to friends. There are also people who have amazing group courage, such as the first responders to the Boston bombing or those fighting in the Middle East. Real life has the same layers of courage as the courage depicted in The Time of the Butterflies does. In our modern world, we have new challenges coming towards us that need to be faced head-on and require great courage to overcome, such as saying no to drugs or starting a new business. There are necessary challenges that need to be faced for the betterment of ourselves and the people around us. These acts take great courage, although it's not the highest level of courage. The highest level reserved for those who look great risk in the eye and try to make a change anyway.
In our world, there are people as brave as the people depicted in The Time of the Butterflies. Those who fight for their nation in its protection in war based on foreign land. Also those who stand up to those who supposedly love them in an abusive relationship. These higher levels or deeper layers of courage are involved with greater risks. While these are great large acts of bravery, these do not happen every day, and this doesn't always need to be on such a large scale. Often, the daring to take on a personal event is the courage needed most often.
In our modern world, everyday courage is necessary for society to survive. This can range from moving on from a death, such as Patria did, to coming out to friends and family. Decisions are a large form of courage that happens both every day and in the book. Decisions are important because they happen in both large scale and small scale. A small decision such as saying no to drugs or staying in school happens every day with a large impact on the future. When all of these small courageous decisions combine, they help society grow stronger. This is different layers of bravery that an individual or group can show, differs from situation to situation. No matter though, this courage comes from within and is important to the unstoppable march of progress forward for the world.